Our learning target, I will be able to graph points in all 4 quadrants on a coordinate plane. First, an ordered pair is where we have an x value and a y value. The x value moves left or right along the x-axis. This is a horizontal movement. Positive x values move to the right, and negative x values move left. The y value moves up or down along the y-axis. This is a vertical movement. Positive y values move up, negative y values move down. A 0x value will lie on the y-axis. An example of this would be 0, 2. And a 0y value will lie on the x-axis. An example would be 2, 0. We're going to label the 4 quadrants, and then we're going to plot the coordinates. So the 4 quadrants in this upper right-hand corner, we have quadrant 1. Moving in a counterclockwise motion, we have quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Notice they are labeled with Roman numerals. Quadrant 1 will have our positive x values and our positive y values. Quadrant 2 will have our negative x and our positive y. Quadrant 3 will have our negative x and our negative y values. And quadrant 4 will have our positive x and our negative y. So just by looking at the coordinates that we're going to be placing, we have a 3, 5. Those are both positive, which means it's going to end up in quadrant 1. I go over 3 first, and then up 5, find where they intersect, and label. Negative 5, 6 has a negative x and a positive y, which will be found in quadrant 2. I go to the left 5 and up 6 and label. Negative 2, negative 3 has a negative negative, so therefore it's going to be in quadrant 3. So I follow left over to the negative 2 and down to negative 3. And 4, negative 2 has a positive x and a negative y, so I will find that in quadrant 4. I go over 4 and down 2. One thing we should also get in the habit of doing is labeling our x and y axes. So 6, negative 6 is a positive x with a negative y, so I'm going over 6 to the right and down 6. 2, 0, positive x and a 0 value means it's going to lie on the x-axis, so I'm going over 2 and not moving. 0, 4 means it's going to end up on the y-axis. I move nowhere but up 4. And negative 2.5 and negative 1.5. So I'm going over between negative 2 and negative 3, and then I'm going down negative 1 and halfway between. And labeling.